This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by Next 1000.
Well, in one of my previous broadcasts, I discussed the rebellious legislation that will be coming out of New Hampshire in 2011. I also discussed the different types of federal reaction that we're likely to get. If you look at all the different options they have at their disposal, it would be easy to get discouraged. But we have options too in New Hampshire, and I'd like to talk about those. In terms of the public mood, independence or secession is still a long way away for most of the states. Theoretically, I don't even favor it myself.
You work for us! You work for us! You work for us!
But in all likelihood, so many wheels are going to come off between now and 2020 that all kinds of things will be on the table that never were before. Now, if we get to the point where we are getting more pressure than usual from Washington, one thing I think we should do, fly in maybe a couple government officials from foreign countries that have successfully seceded. There's probably a Lithuanian diplomat or two kicking around in Washington, Estonians, Slovenes, Latvians. Wine and dine somebody in a very public manner who is associated with peaceful secession. Now, the most effective thing would be if a state rep did this, or maybe a bunch of state reps, or maybe even officially the entire New Hampshire government did this, at the top. But if that's not possible, Free Staters themselves could make it happen simply by inviting one of these types of people to speak at the Liberty Forum, or Porkfest. Heck, I don't think we need to wait for the Feds to do anything more to justify us doing this and starting this dialogue, starting to talk about independence. Remember, though, secession itself isn't the goal. The goal would be to fire a peaceful shot across Washington's bow, to remind them that the further they push us, the more likely we are to do what the Estonians did, and pull out. Here's another move that average New Hampshireites could take. Actually, any one New Hampshireite by themselves practically could make it happen. Think up some kind of a dream bill that you would like to see become law in New Hampshire. Find a state rep who is at least tentatively willing to sponsor it,
and then contact all the relevant federal authorities, anonymous or otherwise. Inform them that if they cross certain lines in New Hampshire, your friends in the House will move that bill forward. No, the feds aren't going to quake in their boots over this, but it's a promise you can actually keep. And they definitely will not want to have that sort of thing happening. It will provide an additional incentive for them to tread carefully. I'm hoping that the legislature and/or freedom movement doesn't get too far in front of the people when it comes to independence, sovereignty, nullification, that sort of thing.
How much money does it take?
And tell you that taxation is death.
If and when Washington begins punishing people simply for being New Hampshireites, we want to make sure that the New Hampshireites are able to take it. They'll only be able to take it if they feel the state is in the right against D.C. Obviously, there are a wide array of other techniques New Hampshireites are already using to counter government harassment. Those techniques could simply be directed at the feds instead of spread out against all levels as they currently are. Civil disobedience, chalking government buildings, news releases, vids, letters to the editor, petitions for redress at the State House, rallies, vigils, drawing in foreign journalists. They'll likely eat up any type of story that sounds like it could lead to a breakup of the U.S. And trust me, this could, if Washington overreacts. During the Real ID situation, there were several mistakes our movement made that we may be able to avoid next time around. For example, no one ever got any video of the federal officials who snuck in and tried to influence state politicians. No one ever managed to get a camera on any of the federal interventionists to question them. The key to greater success next time will be to make their meddling more visible. Are you planning on moving to New Hampshire for more freedom? Do you think you can make it here by autumn 2011? If so, or if maybe, drop by pledgebank.com/next1000. That's where folks are making the promise they'll be here soon. Hover your virtual pen indecisively over the sign-up button. Then press it.
In remembrance of lost liberties.
Tell the world that one more person has had enough and is joining arms with the hundreds upon hundreds who have already fled the nanny states and settled here as freedom activists. Don't delay. Time is running out to make the pledge. Next 1000.